Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. It's 24 degrees and very humid here in Gloucester today. Spent a bit of time down in Sydney, but now back up in Gloucester to finish the week. It's been a very busy week in the Frame Funds offices. Strategy execution for our reversion strategies for the long-short Aussie equity fund has been the primary focus. Let's hop straight into it. First thing, Canada's trimmed CPI cooled 3.5% year on year. There's been a persistent decline in petroleum prices, which you will see is a very common theme over the course of this weekly update. That accounted for the bulk of the ease of inflationary pressure. Number two, US revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment grew to 61.3. This was ahead of expectations of 61.1, still showing that there is optimism in the consumer part of the US market. Again, there has been falling prices of pump or fuel at the pump has been one of the big factors, as well as cheap imports from China have been re-injecting confidence and optimism into the US consumer sector. Number three, US unemployment claims fell to 209,000. US market took a breather after a series of poor statistics over the recent weeks. This figure of 209,000 was actually was much better than the expectations of 226,000, and again a sign that the festive frenzy that we are seeing has started earlier than usual, where people are really trying to work and make money. Germany's flash, number four, Germany's flash manufacturing PMI rose to 42.3. This was again another really interesting data point, and a lot of it is attributed to falling petroleum and raw materials prices as being the primary contributors. Manufacturing is spiking because there is an increase in activity and an increase in demand. Number five, UK flash services PMI rose to 50.5 in November, and this is ahead of expectations of 49.5. That's significant because it just demonstrates that the services sector in the UK has turned into being expansionary once again, rather than sub-50 contractionary. Again, similar theme, like I said at the start, seasonality and better pricing at the pump for fuel has been the largest contributor. As per usual, here is a summary of the futures contracts that we will track within a basket of things that are also traded within our multi-strategy hedge fund. You can see here that the energy complex really has rebounded after a pretty horrific 2 or 3 weeks. There's a forthcoming OPEC meeting where collective production cuts are expected to mop up some of the oversupply due to a lack of demand. Outside of that is just general risk on. You can see that Euro Stocks 50 has had a good week, up 1.4%. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, and generally just risk on currencies have continued to perform very well. On the other side, there's been some profit taking in coffee, continued sell-off in live cattle, and lean hogs experienced a big decline, and a lot of that is because of feed prices coming back. Here is a heat map of largest companies on the ASX. BHP, Rio, Newmont now have done a lot of the heavy lifting in that material sector. NAB, CBA, Westpac, ANZ, all were very mixed over the course of the week. Standouts for the financials were QBE and Suncorp. In my mind, some of the most notable moves here are Wesfarmers, Woolworths, and Coles. And that's notable because people are pricing in extended periods of inflation where their profit margins would expand. But now that we're seeing inflation come back, people are implying and starting to price these companies that their profit margins are going to contract because of some type of disinflation or deflation. Outside of that, it was relatively mixed over for the rest of the market. The Frame Funds Trend Barometer, number of companies which are making short, or number of positions in the futures market, which are making short and long-term trends. It was elevated for a week or so there, but it has subsequently come back to being relatively choppy and not a lot of things hitting new highs, lows in the short and long term. Outside of that, have a nice weekend, last weekend of November before we get into the Christmas and the festive month of December. Have a good weekend. Speak to you soon.